Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm here with Scott Edwards, CEO of Summit 7. Scott's a great friend. His company, arguably one of the top organizations in our country when it comes to the defense industrial base. So this is anything around 800, 171, CMMC. In talking to Scott, and I'm going to let him go into this so I don't butcher the actual documentation and where things are headed. However, it's got my close when I say the DoD has recently handed down their final documents to OMB. And there were some concerns specifically that you have for MSPs and MSSPs in that documentation, as you like to say, reading between the tea leaves. So is that a fair statement? If so, talk to us
Yeah,
about why and what you're doing, and then why you're going to be on the cyber call and why MSPs should show up if they work in the DIP.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's correct. So this week, kind of a long-awaited, thing happened where DoD finalized the rule internally for CMMC, what will be called the DFARS 252-204-7012 rule. Sent that to OMB for OMB to now internally process that and ultimately release that probably in the September-October timeframe. And so in that rule, we expect that there's going to be a set of requirements for MSPs and MSSPs. And there are concerns within the industry that it is going to lump in MSPs and MSSPs with CSPs or cloud solution providers, cloud service providers. And that requirement set is could potentially leverage FedRAMP moderate equivalency requirements on the managed service provider and managed security service provider industry. And while we do need to make sure that MSPs and MSSPs are secure, we don't believe that FedRAMP is necessarily the right standard for that set, that control set. And so what we have done, along with a couple of our friends in the industry, Summit 7 has come alongside with Qzara and Neo Systems, both MSPs and MSSPs, and we have created a new organization, a 501c6 organization called MSPs for the Protection of Critical Infrastructure, also known as, in shorthand, the MSP Collective. And so what we're trying to do is come together as a group of MSPs to then go talk to Congress, to go talk to our representatives, our senators, to talk to the DoD, to talk to the Cyber AB, and ultimately to talk to state legislators as well as new regulation continues to roll out about how these regulations impact the MSP ecosystem, because the MSP ecosystem is critical to our small businesses in this country to be able to function from an IT standpoint. And we as a group, MSPs, support 60 to 70% of the organizations in the DIB in some way, manner, shape, or form. And so if the requirements that come down as part of this rule are too stringent, obviously it's going to remove a lot of MSPs from the market. And we want to make sure that we have the right set of standards in place to ensure security for this entire supply chain, for the defense industrial base. And what we're going to do is come together, define what we believe that standard should be, and then talk to government about that and try and get that new standard put in place. It likely is going to end up being some kind of MSP, MSSP overlay of NIST 853, being that NIST 80171 is a subset of NIST 853. But it is only, it is a standard that is only built around confidentiality. There's nothing that talks about integrity or availability within NIST 80171, and we need to make sure that those kinds of controls are in place. But we don't believe that FedRAMP is necessarily the right standard to go with. And so what I'm trying to do is bring together MSPs that are interested in this mission of communicating to the government, communicating to the Cyber AB, communicating to federal agencies about these important topics that really impact MSPs and MSSPs, because the government does not seem to understand what MSPs and MSSPs really do. And we need to help them understand what that means.
Yeah, really important, Scott. We'll have you on the cyber call Monday and talking more in depth about this. And ideally, we'll have some of your partners that have started this as well. Question for you, Scott. how does an MSP that's working in the DIB today, specifically probably with level 2 and up,
Mhm.
um, what are you asking of them? How can they get involved? That like what should they be doing?
Yeah, so if you are an MSP involved in critical infrastructure industry, specifically the defense industrial base today, as regulations continue to roll out to other industries, think water, think pipelines, think electricity and such. Regulations are going to continue to move out for those, but the one that's front and center right now is the defense industrial base. So if you have a heavy concentration in the DIB of customers, then we want you involved in this organization. And the way you can get involved is by just emailing info@mspcollective.org or going to our website, which Andrew showed just a minute ago. There is a membership link at the top. Click that, fill out the form, and then we'll get the email, and then we can reach back out to you, and we can have a conversation about how you fit into the organization, what the requirements are, and all those kinds of things, and then we can get you involved.
Excellent, Scott. Well, man, I know this is, you know, you're busy running a almost 200 employee MSSP in Huntsville. So you've added a lot to your plate, but it always amazes me how the MSP community can expand in terms of when they see a cause, and I see this as a really important one. And looking forward to having you on the Cyber Call Monday. So thanks for doing what you do, for calling other MSPs to get involved, and we'll dig into this a lot more with you on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern.